Lethbridge started because of the efforts of two men, Sir Alexander Galt and Elliot Galt, his son. And it was all coal and eventually railway and then land ownership, irrigation that brought settlement into this part of the world. But with those settlers and those early coal miners, there were always going to be incidents that needed hospital care and doctor's care. The Galts opened their very first hospital in 1886, and that served mainly their own employees. Right from the very first, the Galts and the medical doctors set up an type of insurance. So the men working for the Galt coal mine and railway would pay 25 cents a month, and that would give them a full month's care for themselves and their families. A little later, that hospital was outgrown, and so Sir Alexander Galt offered the community $10,000 and then a little bit more later on to build a second hospital. And this was built in 1886. This was a fairly large two-story building. But as the city grew, there was a need for more hospital beds. So in 1910, Elliot Galt offered the city $30,000. If they would match it, then they would bring in an architect from the United States by the name of Brunner, and they would build a new wing for this hospital. And this is the two-story brick building that still exists here in Lethbridge. All of the other aspects of the building, including a 1930 addition that was joining the two buildings, have all been dismantled. And this hospital building stayed. One of the special rooms in the Galt Hospital was the Sunbeam room. And in 1922, they realized that having children in the same ward with adults was not a very comfortable thing for anybody. The kids were frightened by the noises and the sounds that they were hearing and being amongst strangers. So they started this lovely ward on the second floor. And they brought in the right kind of furniture for children, although if you were even 12 years old, you were sleeping in a crib because that was the bedding they had in that children's ward. But I think it was a very beneficial thing for a lot of people. In those years, though, parents weren't asked or encouraged to come and visit their children. They thought that would upset the children too much when the parents went home. So it was a really isolating incident for children to be in a very strange place, surrounded by strangers who were taking care of them and not being around their families. So from 1910 until 1955, it was the main hospital here in Lethbridge. And there were all sorts of opportunities for people who were ill, needed surgery. They were well-qualified doctors and nurses at that point.